Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, what's going on, my brother?
Living a dream, man. Living a dream.
Hey, I tell you what, man. Finally, man. After all these damn hours, to finally get this electronics equipment to work the way it's supposed to work, man. So, give a round of applause to my own self. Hey, man, for everybody out there, man, I appreciate you guys having all this patience with the Sarge, man. We finally got this thing up and moving, and as you guys can see, man, I got a special guest on this morning, man. The legendary Reef. Reef, man, Reef is the architect, is 50% of the architect behind this thing called Ride to Eat, man. And we're going to talk about this thing this morning after he introduced himself. But man, I'm going to tell you this. I was in the presence of nothing but giants, man, in the motorcycle community this weekend, man. Was one of the most beautiful times that I've had since I've been in the motorcycle community. And that's been about 12, 13 years now, man. So shout out to Reef K Solo for that Ride to Eat 2023, man. It was a great time in Driftwood, Texas. But hey, man, you don't need no introduction, but I'm gonna let you do it anyway, man. Introduce yourself, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
Man, not much to tell. I'm Reef. Hail out of Bernie, Texas. Um, didn't start motorcycling until 2004. Uh, and now I'm just a guy that likes to ride his motorcycle. That's it. Ain't much to Reef.
Reef, we got you there. We lost you there for a quick second, but I think we got you now.
I'm here.
Can you hear me? Okay,
I'm here.
bet,
Can you hear
bet,
me?
bet. Yes, sir. Everything is rocking and rolling now. Hey, man. So real quick, let me kind of set the stage. Okay, this year was my first Ride to Eat. And I go, I'm expecting to be Ride to Eat, just what it sounds like, get together with some good folks, some like-minded folks, some grown folks. But when I get there, man, it's much, much more. We get there, we get to a very nice hotel. People are pulling up, not cages, but motorcycles. Imagine that. They're pulling up. We're seeing who's who. We're sitting down by the pool, man. We're eating barbecue. We're listening to my favorite Frankie Beverly and Mays, folk stuff. And we're rejoicing and we're talking about one another, man. It was probably one of the coolest things, man, I've seen in a long time. And not to say that every, you know, other activities and functions don't have the same thing, but it felt so much different. It felt like a family. It felt like a small community amongst communities across the United States. And I seen folks there from Canada, to come up with this Ride to Eat get out, man. This simple but beautiful get out.
Uh, so sometime back in 2016, um, we were part of Have Iron Will Travel, and I had recently had given Secret, the cross country rider, a Have Iron Will Travel patch. They came down to San Diego for brunch. Heard quite a few folk actually came down to San Diego to have brunch with me. Uh, Cali Cat, I think Portia was there. But anyway, a couple weeks later, we were somewhere up in NorCal, and she saw somebody else that had a Have Iron Will Travel patch, and she didn't know who they were. And she's like, "Yo, Reef, can we have some kind of reunion or get together so we can all meet each other?" So me and Solo were. I was living in San Diego. He was in North Carolina, and we would meet up all the time for lunch and chop it up about rides we want to do together. So we were getting ready to do one. So we that's what started. About a month before we went down there, we put it out. We had 24 folks showed up. As Solo told y'all at the Ride to Eat, there was 3 bikes that rolled together. It's supposed to be you ride, you in on Saturday, meet at the restaurant, you eat, and then tell a couple lies, take some pictures, and then go home. That's what it's supposed to be. But what happened was we did that. Paul Solo and I stayed at the same hotel the night before, And then we stayed in San Antonio, and then we rode into Driftwood, Texas together. And Paul snapped a picture of me and Solo side by side. My wife was on the back, and obviously Paul was behind us. So we that was it. They rode together, and then afterwards, we met everybody else there, like it's supposed to be. And then when we left, I wanted to go back to San Antonio to hang out at the Riverwalk. So one of my brothers from Chicago was there, and he's like, "What are you doing, Reef?" And I'm like, "I'm going to Riverwalk." So they joined. Him and his wife joined. Then my boy from Dallas, who had rode down, was like, "Well, if we all going, I'm going to call my wife and have her come down." So the next day when we posted pictures, man, the 24 people that showed up, I swear they either all inboxed me or called me like, "Why you ain't tell us where you were staying? Why you ain't tell us what you was doing? We want to go with you. We wanted to hang out with y'all." I didn't know that's not what it's supposed to be.
Right.
So with all the phone calls and everything, it didn't turn into us getting a host hotel. And then it was people asking, "Hey man, we don't get to ride with you on K Solo. We can't afford it, or we don't have the time off, and we ain't gonna ride them big rides with y'all because y'all crazy. And can we do a ride?" So now it's most people get there on Thursday. Some people get there sooner. Every Friday, it's normally a ride somewhere. And then we go back to the hotel. And a couple years ago in Foley, we stayed at a Home 2 Suites, and we had a grill. So we got food, and that started that tradition that you saw last weekend. So now every time we go somewhere, we try to stay at Home 2 Suites because they have a grill where all the other restaurants, hotels we stayed at had a restaurant. Which was always cool because we would eat there, and then they would come and hang out with us afterwards. So, and then Saturday, we never stay where we eat. So there's a ride in for the people that don't go on the ride on Friday, like Sarge. I didn't say that out loud, did I?
Hey, well, I went on a big ride, right?
But the ride Saturday, as you saw, it won't always be 70 miles, but it's normally a nice little ride to get to where we're eating, just for the sake of the people that can't get off and make it there on Friday can come and ride with us just for a little bit. And we try to make it scenic the best we can, depending on where we're staying and where we're eating at. But as you saw, it worked out pretty well. And then our cooks are the greatest. They it's not something we sit there. We don't have a committee. We don't have none of that. We get there, and people that do what they do for the love of us just do it. Paul loves to cook. We got another cook that can't come because just had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
John Levins always volunteers this time on the grill. My wife, if she's around, we always got a lot of people that just step up and do what needs to be done to make sure that everybody have a good time. And I want to thank all of them. Our road guards and road captains and blockers, as you saw, they're phenomenal.
Excellent.
It doesn't matter if our pack is 2 or a couple hundred. We normally get the job done, and we get it done safely. We hadn't had any incident to date, and out of the times we had to utilize them, we have only had one ticket.
I actually, I saw when we were riding, I saw probably about 4 or 5 police cars.
We did.
Nobody ever moved.
Somebody did walk up to OD, but he didn't give him a ticket. He was like, "Yo, who told y'all can block the roads?" And he's like, "We got to get our pack through safe." And he like, "Well, I could pull all y'all over." And he like, "Yeah, right. You gonna pull all 200 some of us over?" He like, "You want me to pull over?" He like, "You want me to pull over and take a ticket?" He like, "No, just ride safe." And he let him go. And that's all it was. But yeah, when you doing what you're doing, and we wasn't impeding traffic for the most part, and we moved along pretty swiftly and orderly. They didn't, I guess, feel they needed to jump out.
Okay.
So we made it 70 miles with no incident.
Oh yeah.
You there, Sarge?
Down doing their thing, and they were rolling in sync. They seemed like they knew what they were doing, man. So it was easy for me to relax and say, okay, these guys got us covered. I think in 75 plus miles, I might have put my foot on the ground maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times.
Yeah, well, a couple times, being up front, we had cars that was there and they didn't understand what was going on because motorcycles just jumped on either side of them, blocked the road, and then somebody is waving them on like crazy, and they looking like, what am I supposed to do? And we're like, man, if you don't move your ass. And then they look in their rearview mirror and see this big old train coming. Then they finally decide to move.
Yeah, that was up. That was what was up. So, hey, man, then we go to this place called Salt Lick Barbecue, man.
Salt Lake.
Beautiful joint in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome joint. So this is a place that you're familiar with. You guys are going to quite a bit. That was the place where y'all started it at.
That's where we started. With Salt Lake. I saw videos of that pit in way back in the day. Like we got to go there. The meats are outstanding. The pickles are outstanding. The pie is outstanding. The sides are something to be desired. WPG.
Yeah, we'll leave that like that.
Now, if you pass the logic, love the sides. Boston love the sides.
Yikes. Hey, yeah, but I'm gonna tell you now, the ribs would have died for, man. The ribs were.
Yeah, if you didn't try the buffalo ribs, man, you need to go back. The bison ribs, you need to go back.
My wife had the bison ribs. Yeah.
If you didn't try the bison, you need to go back. Yeah, next year we're going back to Hammond, Louisiana, to Don's Seafood. We did it there in 2019, man, and let me tell you, that is the people's choice. Like if we had a people's choice restaurant, that would be it. They went all out. It was a great time. It's big enough for everybody. They had Harley came out. They had drones. They counted. They had people counting bikes. And they just made it a good time. Wow. So matter of fact, 3 days before this one started, they one of the managers inboxed me and was like, "Yo, it's time to come home. What are y'all waiting on? When y'all coming back?" And up until I saw the size of our pack, because normally we have about 25 people who show up on Thursday and then everybody else come in on Friday. We normally between 150, 200 at the hotel. But this year we had over 100 on Thursday night. And I was thinking, okay, most people are here. And then Saturday when I saw the pack, while we were riding, I got on my phone because we were going to Baltimore, Maryland. That's where we initially were going. But the restaurant is a sit-down style restaurant that only holds 160 people max. That wouldn't do us no good no more.
No, I don't think so, man. I don't
think that wouldn't. So while we were on the fly, I got on the phone with Don's, and the manager I talked to on the phone didn't know who we were. And she called the main manager, and they started screaming in her ear. And my phone literally rang 3 minutes after I got off the phone with her, with them calling and saying, "About time, you're confirmed. I'm on my way to work now, just to put you in the books." And since then, I have talked to them. They have called me about 3-4 times. Every manager that was there before, people that weren't even managers that have moved up to managers that were there, have all called me and told me how glad they were coming back. So, for the people that hadn't been there before, hadn't been there with us before, it's a real treat. I'm about to sign a little contract for the hotels here soon. So I put it out to the folk that play a part of what we do all the time. So once they get first shot at making their reservations, it'll go out to everybody else. And then we'll update the page. We'll put the links on the page. You can start ordering your shirts. And then, like always, patches will be ordered, and we'll have patches for donation at the RTE.
That's what's up, man.
It's a great time for anybody that hadn't come. But again, just know that it's not a club. We love you. We love your club, that you're in a club and you got love for your club, but it is not a club function. So if you're the kind that can't be without your vest for 48 hours, stay at home. It'll make it easier for everybody. If you can take that vest off and let people love on you for you, and you like to ride, come on. We welcome you. Just know, though, it is not the place to come and brag about your miles. Not the place.
No.
It's not the place.
Hey, I'm going to say this, man. I'm going to say this right now. I don't care what Reef say. He almost convinced me at one time that Sarge could do 15,000 miles in 15 days.
You can.
Bruh, I thought about that. I thought about that when I woke up that morning over my coffee. And by the time I got back home from San Antonio, I said, hell no.
You can, man.
Man, but I'm telling you, brother, it was some real ground pounders out there, man. If you right, man, if you around the way kind of, I don't know if that crowd would have been your crowd. If you ain't a for real
You there, Sarge?
I wouldn't have been qualified for Ride to Eat, man, for many, many just because of the quality of men and women that attend there. And that's cool. That's understand because there's lanes and there's echelons to growth in this motorcycling. But I'd be almost to think that I'm sure we had over 1 million miles between the motorcycle riders that was there.
Oh man, that was
well over 1
easy.
million miles, man.
I mean, you got that with me and Solo. So
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you're right. We've got guys. From the Arctic Ocean all the way to the South Pacific or the South Atlantic. We're talking about the tip of Chile. Am I correct? And then we've got riders who rode, from what I understand, all the way through Europe and countries in Europe. Am I correct?
you're correct.
So these guys and girls have covered it all, man. They've taken motorcycling to the next generation, man. And shout out to them and shout out to all the folks I've met there because I did learn a lot. I learned a lot being there, man. So I'm gonna just say thank you to K Solo, to you and K Solo for putting this together, man, because for nothing else, you guys put us together with people who can teach motorcycling at the greatest level, man. So I appreciate you for that, brother.
We try, man. We just, a lot of rides we do. People like, man, y'all set the bar. We're not. We're setting the bar for ourselves. And if we can motivate other people, I'm no different than anybody else, man. I feel if I can do it, anybody can do it. Everybody's circumstance ain't the same though, so don't discount what I'm saying. Be proud of your miles. Your miles are your miles. Don't compare yourself to others, and be proud of what you're doing because you got your own set of circumstances. Everybody don't have the time, the energy, the money to get out there and ride these scooters like some of us do. I'm pretty blessed. There's still people that are a lot more blessed than I am and have a lot more time and money to do what we do.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. And when it comes to that, just ride your ride, enjoy your ride, and don't compare yourself to what other people do. Be proud of your achievements because they are yours. You earned them. You earned every mile. I don't care if you do 5,000 miles a year. You earned them 5,000 miles. Because your 5,000 miles was not the same as my 5,000 miles.
And sometimes it's a season, man. It's your season for things and understand where you fit and be prepared when that time comes. Like I said, not everybody can do everything, but
everything ain't for everybody.
But here's the thing that I take away from it is people inspiring other folks to do things. What's the saying that K Solo says?
Aspire to inspire.
Aspire to inspire. Inspiring other folks to be their greatest, to see things, to test yourself, to come out your box and learn things. So, and learning never gets old, man. So that's my takeaway from the whole get out. Definitely. Hey, so real quick, man, if you don't mind, let's move to the next segment. Let's talk about, okay, there's so many different things you can do in the motorcycle get down as far as the riding and the miles challenges and those type of things, whether it's I-10 to the end, whether it's all kind of stuff underneath the IBA. But the one that I think it was you, Solo, Becky, Cynthia, that was the one you guys did from what, Mexico to Canada? Was it? Okay.
The STMA 3 Flag Classic. It's done every year. It's SCMA, Southern California Motorcycle Association. Very classy organization. Top-notch group. They do some rides that y'all probably know of. Besides the Three Flag Classic, if you don't know what that is, but the Four Corners, that is their ride. Other people have came up with their own version of Four Corners, but the official Four Corners is an SCMA ride. Man, that ride is great. This was our Solo and I second year. Everybody else who was there first year from at least our circle. It's been going on for 46 years now, 47 years coming up. This year started in Puerto Penasco, Mexico, Sonora, Mexico, and it ended in, we were in Calgary, British Columbia, I think that's BC. No, Calgary, whatever province that is up in Canada. It's 4 days, unless it falls on a 0 or 5 year, then it's 5 days, roughly 500 miles a day, which to me, I love. There's checkpoints. They give you a turn-by-turn directions that you can follow. And if you do, you're in for a very scenic, nice ride. But you don't have to follow them. There's people that while we're doing the Three Flag Classic, they do America's Best 15 or California's Best 15 roads or whatever ride they want to do in conjunction with. And then they just meet at the hotel between the check-in hours. But to me, following their route, I like it because normally Solo talks me in these crazy rides where we're doing 1,000-mile days for 10, 12, 15 consecutive days or whatever the case may be. And it's cool. That's what we do. But the Three Flags, man, you can, hell, I went 2 up, but my wife rode with me the whole way. It's like I said, it's roughly 500 miles a day. You can ride it only during the day. And then you get to enjoy the town you're in at night or the fellowship. And it's normally a couple, 200-300 people that go on the ride, and you don't ride together per se, but you're doing, for the most part, the same route, or you're meeting at the host hotel for the check-in spot. So then you can go and break bread with folk. I really enjoyed it. Last year, I met a young lady named Monica, and then I met a lot of my family that I didn't previously know, and then I found out that Monica's my cousin. So that was a treat riding with my cousin and my wife for the whole trip. And then I'm with my brother Solo, and then Becky Tarsh and Snacks joined us, and David Bell joined in. It was a great time. The president, Mark Burdick, was like, "Yo, Reef, man, y'all grow. Y'all the only group we had that grow while we're riding." Because it started off with just me and Solo, and then we met a brother from Canada last year, and we ended up riding 3/4 of the way together. And then this year we rode together, and then Dave Bill added to our pack, and Becky Tarts and Snacks initially left, and then we met at the first swag checkpoint, and then we rode together. So they're like, "Man, y'all grow like crazy," and then they're highly impressed with the way Solo and I ride. So he rides, Mark Burdick rides, his wife rides too, and she notices this time, she's like, "Look how they ride." She's like, they're in her words, "They ride like the Hells Angels," and and he just laughs and like, "Yeah, those guys are serious about this." So it's a great time. It's really a good time, man. It's fun. It's relaxing. It's very scenic. You see the best mountains, the best lakes, rivers, secondary roads, and you meet some quality people.
I bet,
some
man.
quality people.
Exciting stuff, man. As a matter of fact, I sat and watched you guys from my living room couch, man. And every morning I would get up.
Sarge, you there?
It was real cloudy earlier.
Partake in something like that, man, especially on the West Coast, because I think the West Coast is the prettiest part of the country anyway.
It's not always in the West Coast. So next year next year it is going to be, but next year starts in Canada. It's going to start in somebody's hot springs in Canada, and then it's going to go down to Tijuana, as providing they can work with the Tijuana police and everything and secure a nice, safe location for us to end at. But it's fun, man. It's check it out. If you hadn't ever checked it out, go to Southern California Motorcycle Association and look up Three Flag Classic. Look at all their rides. They got some great rides, man. Solo and I this year, we did the Triple Crown, where they have premier rides. You do three rides, so they're premier rides, and then you qualify to be a Triple Crown winner. So Solo and I did that this year just because it was something that people in our circle weren't doing, and it sets the bar for us to do what's next. We do a lot of things. We're the first to do a lot of things in our community. So,
and the game is changing, man. If you don't mind, you know, when I started taking I started thinking about this thing, man. It was during COVID. I was getting ready to go to West Coast. It was in 2020 springtime. It was just after the Iron Elite. About a month later, I was getting ready to go out to Cali, and I remember COVID hit, and it kind of shut a lot of things down. So, you know, I delayed about a month because, you know, doing COVID, like, well, what the hell? You don't know. You catch that damn that thing, and you get stuck out there. You can't get home. You know, we didn't know what the hell was going on. It was the apocalypse. So then I remember I finally decided in June, I said, you know, I'm going. You know, social distance. What I'm doing is the best way to social distance. Ride your motorcycle and pay at the pump, and you straight. And I remember having a conversation with a good friend of mine on the phone, and I said, man, this is going to change things in the motorcycle community, where we're always used to riding to the party, you know, the next party, the next MC run, those type of things. Now those parties are going away. Now it's going to be able to find out who really likes the motorcycle, because that's the only thing you can do is motorcycle. And I thought from that point on, I said, there's going to be a new generation of this thing, and people are going to be out just motorcycling, man. And I think we're starting to get to that point where people just love to motorcycle. I don't know how you feel about it, man, but I see the next generation. And the next generation is the stuff that you guys are doing.
Man, the stuff has been there though. Like I had
never mainstream like this now.
It wasn't mainstream in our communities. I go there. I'll say that.
Okay, that's fair.
In our community, that is very true, man. I do a lot of IBA stuff, man, and I was having a conversation with Michael Kneebone, the president of IBA, and it was a group of us in March when we go to the Jacksonville party. But somebody had asked me, yo, what made you start wanting to come? I said, man, I was looking at it used to be called the Jacksonville Pizza Party. I said, and it would never be people that look like me. And I was like, I know we deserve a seat at those tables. So I'm gonna work hard to get at that seat. And so when I started going, Solo, of course, went with me because that's my boy. And every year they would be like, hey, bring some more people. Now they don't even have to say it because there's a lot of us doing it. They've been doing it. They've been doing it for a long time. Low Key called me yesterday and we was talking about the word RTE and how he hadn't heard of it before. And I'm like, man, and in some of my circles, that's a common word. Like that's a common phrase. They always been doing RTEs. It's just new to us.
It's new to us.
Yeah. Right. So and so when I was talking to Michael Kneebone, one of the guys I was listening said, I said, man, it's not a lot of black people represented here. And I said, I wanted to change that. And the one guy says, yo, Reef, he said, we never told y'all not to come. And I'm like, true. But, you know, for us, if we don't see other people doing it that look like us, we ain't trying to do it. So that's why I was like, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to show everybody it ain't that bad. And it is fun. And it is a lot of fun. The ride that we do is kind of similar to what we do all the time in the other communities. So, again, it's not new. It's new to our circle. And like, as you saw at our RTE, man, it wasn't just us. It's everybody there.
Oh, that's everybody. It's
a good time.
Yeah. Well, I think the world works best when all of us are involved together collectively.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm sure you can understand that as being a man and served in the Navy for 25 years, me being a Marine 22
In
years.
2 days. In 2 days. Don't forget my 2 days.
Your 2 days?
25 years in 2 days.
Oh, Reef did 25 years in 2 days.
In 2
All the way to
days.
the Navy. He was probably making a whole lot of trouble that last day, but but yeah, we've had a chance to see other countries and other cultures, and us being in the military, you understand that it takes us all, man, to make this thing work. So when I'm able to go to a motorcycle event such as Ride to Eat, and I see a representation of the whole entire United States, man, it makes me feel really, really good. It makes me feel like there's promise in the future. It does. And
Uh-oh. You froze, Sarge.
I've grown dry to a lot of things that I've seen in the motorcycle community over the years, because obviously in the motorcycle community, you have the one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum. You have the really, really great, the really, really not so great. And you have to navigate in between those things.
Yeah,
But when I can go to a place where I can be around like-minded people that just want to love on one another, the Iron Elite page, Iron Elite podcast, when we start really getting this thing together, with your Ride to Eat group page, that we're going to continue to show the best in what we have to offer in the motorcycle riding.
Sarge, you there?
Yes, sir. I think we're buffering just a little bit, but
Yeah, man, I'm out here in Hill Country on vacation, so
it's no problem, man. Hey, I got one more segment if you got time for it.
yeah, man, I got time.
Man,
If y'all can put up with the buffering.
issues lately. You there?
I'm here now.
We've been
I just heard you say, "Are you there?"
Yeah, we've been seeing some issues lately. Okay, recovery stuff, AAA stuff. What do you use? What do you use?
Man, so my insurance carrier is Progressive, and then I use Good Sam. I left AAA years ago because two people I was riding with actually had problems, and I called AAA, and they never sent a truck out. They never called to check on us. Nothing. So I left AAA a long time ago, and I went with Good Sam. Just recently, I went with Good Sam. And then I even actually switched with my Progressive. I'm still with Progressive. I'm not with Progressive through USA though. I was with Progressive through Kent, my Power Shots place. Even their coverage, even though it's still Progressive, is way different on what they'll do for you if you need to tow. So I use Good Sam, man. Doing the True X ride I was just doing, 14,000 miles in, going through Cuba, New Mexico. My alternator, my stator went out, and I didn't have enough gas to ride all the way to Albuquerque. So I pulled up at the gas station, filled up the gas tank, and then I called Good Sam. And man, the first young lady like, "Oh, we can't tow you all the way to Albuquerque." And then I said, "Give me a supervisor." The supervisor got on the phone. She's like, "Oh, you're absolutely right, Mr. Asadi. We need to take you to who's going to work on your bike." Because their policy is, when I called them, was if the closest dealer to you is 200 miles, and if I call that dealer or you call that dealer and they say they can't work on you because they're backlogged, if the next closest dealer is 400 miles, we're taking you 400 miles, because it doesn't do no good to take you 200 miles and they can't work on your bike. That does nothing for you or us. So they were like, "Yo," but the first young lady wasn't schooled on that. She was trying to send me to a car shop in Cuba, New Mexico. But once I got the manager on the phone, man, not only did they set up the tow, the driver, when he came in, took me to get something to eat, and then took me to the hotel when they were done. and they called every half hour, every 15 minutes until I got picked up. And then once I got picked up, around the time that it should have taken me to get back to the location where we were dropping the bike off, they were calling. And then the next day they called. They were absolutely amazing. And it's Good Sam. And then trip interruption. I had trip interruption with Good Sam and with Progressive. So for the times I did have problems on the road this year, they have reimbursed me for food and lodging for the days that I was without my motorcycle while I was broke down. So that's what I use. Can you hear me, Sarge? Sarge.
Yeah, looks like we just buffering a lot. Hey, but let me ask this real quick, and then we will go ahead and kill us because I the buffering is getting worse now. But still buffering. Did you catch that last question I asked?
Nope.
So it's spelled just the way it sounds. Good Sam.
Good Sam. GODSAM.
Okay. And is it a specific, it's just a motorcycle insurance company, just a motorcycle recovery?
They have insurance and they have roadside assistance. I did the roadside assistance, and they have other things too that I said I was going to check out later. 3 years, it cost me $154, and that covers everybody in my house and my motorcycles and cars.
Okay.
They're really, really inexpensive, and they get all kind of tire wheel packages and all kind of things. Some of the stuff I still got to look into because I said I'm going to see what else they have for motorcycles specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like they cover my Chrysler. It's a 2015 Chrysler. They cover it under extended warranty.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna call. I said once I finally get off the road, I got one more trip. Actual trip that's not just a straight IBA ride. I'm gonna go to the Vegas in a couple of days to hang out with my father and siblings for his birthday. So I'm gonna call over the winter and see what else they got to offer for just motorcycles. But what I have so far, man, it's been great between them and Progressive with the trip interruption.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely great,
man. It's something I want to do, and I'll get with you guys later. I would love to have you and Solo. We come on and really break down this, because Solo uses a bunch of stuff too. I think he used some of the same similar stuff that you use, but also Solo does a lot of stuff with the Hog Association, discount points, all kind of cool stuff. So I would like to, like I said, when things slow down a little bit and you guys get some time, let's do a 3-way and get on, man, and talk about all the cool incentives, a lot of the cool discounts and things that we can use on the highway to make a long distance trip and not spend a whole ton of money to do it, because I know you guys know all the secrets. You gotta know them. Brother, the way y'all travel, I don't care if you make $1 million a year, you gotta have all kind of discounts, whether it's at hotels, whether it's at the gas buddy get downs, all the different things, man, to put together to be able to ride the way that you guys ride.
Well, I just sent you one today for gas.
Yeah, I peeped that. I didn't want to go public until I get everything I need to get out of it to make sure I'm straight. But if you don't mind, man, I love to do that, and we can go through, because one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to be singing somebody's praise and they're not doing right by the motorcycle community, man. We can't be endorsing people that ain't doing right. If and I'm not beholden to nobody. If somebody knows something that's really good, that's really solid for us to be able to use on the road to take advantage of, albeit, man, it just makes us a little bit more powerful. But if your junk is garbage, we gonna tell you your stuff is garbage until you fix the garbage. Is that fair enough?
That is fair, man. There's too much stuff out there that sounds good until you need it, and then it ain't. They make you jump through hoops, and you be like, "What? That ain't what I signed up for. That ain't what was advertised."
Because some people will sell you everything, and they'll let you assume everything until you find out the fine print, and then you sitting out in the middle of Nevada in the desert in the middle of no damn where, finding out, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, like with AAA, man, the one I hear all the time is people like, they'll tell you 200 miles. Well, I tried that. It didn't work out that way. Now, I will say also with AAA, sometimes it's determined by what state you're in. It's not even the same for every state. But that 200-mile dream was for RVs. Motorcycles, they were like, we'll only cover you 100 miles. And I'm like, that's not how they described it. They're like, they described it wrong. That's part of the RV package. I'm like, why would you to an RV 200 miles, but not my motorcycle?
Not a motorcycle. And then South Dakota, 100 miles ain't
gonna get you nowhere.
Ain't get you nowhere. We're in Montana, they ain't get you nowhere.
Ain't gonna get you nowhere.
For sure.
So yeah, that's it's a lot of the devil's in the details, man. And again, you have to call and hold people accountable. Like with Good Sam, I could have easily got pissed off and be like, oh, the hell with them. But I like put your manager on the phone. The girl actually told me my manager ain't gonna override this because that's how it is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, if you don't get that damn manager and put him on the phone.
Right. I'm glad you didn't listen to the subject matter expert.
Yeah, it's most of the people that first answer the phone is not even the company that you call. They hire out. They especially for a tow. Yeah. They send that somewhere else.
Well, they sitting home, feeding the baby, changing diapers, and watching soap operas, and at the same time working. Allegedly, that's me. Hey, so man, I'm gonna go ahead and let you enjoy your vacation, man. I don't want to be too rude to the wife, man. But any closing remarks, man? Anything for us to take away, man, from whether it was the ride to eat, whether it's this motorcycle get down, whether it's called the SCMA, right?
SCMA, Southern California Motorcycle Association.
Anything you want to leave us with, brother?
Man, it's a lot of cool things to do, a lot of reasons to ride out there. You just have to want to do it. I'm one of the brothers that didn't get a patch the other day, inboxed me his address, and he called me a couple times. Once I get home, I'm gonna take him a patch, but he lives in Mobile, Alabama. Cause I ain't gonna waste some money on the posters. I'd rather ride. So somebody else had hit me up about riding. I said, well, if you got time during the week, I'm gonna take Brother Thorough a patch. And they're like, oh, that's nice. I said, some people look for reasons not to ride. I look for reasons to ride.
Hey, for everybody out here, he ain't playing, man.
So there's a ton of cool. Again, SCMA got a bunch of rides. There's a ride called Ride to Eat Across America that will take you to some roads you've never even heard of. And you'd be like, damn, and you get to eat some good food for the most part. There are some bad ones, but it's totally free to sign up for Ride to Eat Across America. Shout out to CoWeb for making that. The Tour of Honor, it costs you a little bit, but some of that goes to charities that's helping veterans and first responders. So then you go and you ride in all these states, and you doing roads you ain't never been on, going to towns you ain't never heard of. Like you never heard of Driftwood, Texas.
Hell no.
And you're on roads that you've never been on, and then there's some of the most beautiful roads. Like you will pull over. Like when we went to on our Friday ride, I took people out to Stonehenge too, and people was like, "This is freaking gorgeous." I go out there all the time just to relax and clear my head. But people had never even heard of it. They're like, "I didn't know this existed." I live in Texas. It's a lot of shit out there. Just get out and explore and go find it. Stop going from bar to bar, party to party, and go out and do a SCMA ride or sign up for Tour of Honor. Do some IBA rides. They got some theme rides that are absolutely outstanding.
Show you right. Hey, man, so y'all heard it from Reef on Friday, man. He's telling you, man, get out there, explore, ride your motorcycle, man. It might open up a brand new world to you. Is that fair, brother?
That is fair.
Hey, I appreciate you, Reef, man. Tell a wife I said hello, man. Y'all enjoy the vacation, man. And we'll be talking again soon, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. No problem. Much love.
Keep it motorcycling. Yes, sir.